Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm sure people will still continue to pile in here. This class today is a very special one. We have a host here today that Adam will introduce. But my name is Lonnie Torrell. I'm the business strategist here at Upright Labs, and we do this monthly masterclass series. Like I said, monthly, every single month, usually in the second or third week of the month. We'll be doing one in January as well, and we'll send out some details afterward of what date that's going to be. This masterclass is a little bit special today because we do have this host. Adam, if you want to kick us off and get us going on the value and future of authentication with Entrupy.
Sure thing. So we'll be talking about authentication with Entrupy today. You have myself as a host. I am a client services specialist here at Upright Labs. I have 5 years of e-commerce experience from just working in an e-commerce department to managing and now here at Upright. I am an automator. I like to automate lots of things and also a Lego collector who primarily focuses on space sets. And with us today, we have Jake Stewart, and I'll let you introduce yourself, Jake.
Thank you, Adam. Pleasure to be here. My name is Jake Stewart. I'm the head of business development at Entrupy. I've been at Entrupy a little over 2 years now. My background is in strategy and growth and in development. A lot like Adam, I do love Legos, even though it's not listed, but I live in the beautiful mountains of Utah, and so love trail running, skiing, and have a sort of passion of sneaker collecting, and luckily we authenticate sneakers. So it's a great connection of interests and problem solving with what we deliver from an Entrupy perspective.
Definitely. It's always good to have people who are familiar with the product when dealing with stuff like this. So today we'll talk about kind of three different things here. We will talk through some key insights on Entrupy's State of the Fake report. We'll talk about we'll mention some other data that is included in that report. If you haven't seen that yet, we highly recommend you go check that out. We'll also talk about driving value for authentication. So reasons to authenticate, the return on investment, how that certificate can impact your revenue and enhance the credibility of your listings. We'll also talk about current features that Entrupy has and maybe some new ones that they are looking to launch in the near future. And then we'll have some time for some question and answer at the very end. So with Entrupy's State of the Fake report, we will talk about a little bit about Entrupy, the brands that they currently authenticate, and what they're doing to combat counterfeit goods. So on the slide here, you can see a lot of information. Some of you may be familiar with Entrupy, some of you may not. For those who are not yet familiar with Entrupy, they have authenticated over $5 billion worth of inventory across 90 different countries. Their reliability rating is 99.1%, thanks to about 50 million reference images. And they cover not only luxury goods, but also sneaker authentication and have, in my opinion, some really cool features like fingerprinting and have some other features upcoming that we'll talk about in a little bit. So Jake, if you would be able to, could you talk a little bit about how long Entrupy has been around?
Absolutely. Entrupy was founded in 2016, so we've been at this for a chunk of time. We were founded around the concept and sort of mission of driving transactional trust between buyers and sellers and really becoming the standard of truth for authentication and identification. What really differentiates us and makes us unique, and you referenced it, Adam, but is the quantity of data that we have, right? And so, especially where we're utilizing artificial intelligence and really machine learning to be fast, accurate, and to ultimately provide real-time results, that becomes extremely important to what we can deliver for our customers and how we do it through AI and through that technology.
Definitely. And that was probably one of my favorite aspects of using the Entrupy system is you take your pictures with the device and a lot of times within 10, 20, 30 seconds, you have your result. You're able to move that item forward pretty much right away. For a lot of our clients, they're able to start listing it right away. They don't have to wait for a decision to come back in most cases. So with this state of the fake report, what really kind of inspired that? There's a lot of great data in here, and yeah, I'm really curious as to what inspired you to start sharing all of this information.
I think the best way to answer that question is to use the word or term collaboration. For us, we know that the counterfeiting industry and those problems attached to it are bigger than any one group, right? And so as we started to look at our data and realize that we have such unique and interesting data coming in from all over the world, we realized how beneficial that could be from an industry perspective. And collaboration, in our opinions, really becomes a driver in working with companies, in working with uh, governments, in working with borders, in working with brands themselves to help combat this issue. And at the heart of it, that is our mission, to try to chip away at this problem of counterfeiting as much as possible. And so the more data that we can share that helps drive that conversation and helps expose the cause and effect of counterfeiting is really the motivator behind this for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always good to have more data at your fingertips, especially for a lot of our clients who may not always be. I know I, for one, was not an expert in fashion or handbags or anything like that. So anything that I could look at to learn more about these things, and in this case, how these counterfeiters are approaching some of these items was very helpful. So along with that, we have some information in here. These are Entropy's top 5 authenticated brands for, I believe it was 2023. You can see here Louis Vuitton was the most popular, and I believe it's also in the State of the Fake report, but has also been the most popular for a good number of years running. Um, has there been anything on this list, either this most recent report or any of the past reports, that have surprised you? Any brands that have surprised you?
Yeah, the last report, one of the most interesting brands that we saw really expansion around, right? And not good expansion around was that of Hermes. And what's interesting about that is when you think about Hermes and the price or average price of Hermes, it's not cheap, right? It's the most premium brand that exists. And to see how a brand like that and how counterfeiters are taking that opportunity to capitalize on the demand for it is pretty scary in lots of ways. And so I would say from this last report, their growth and expansion in terms of the quantity and amount of counterfeiting happening around it was pretty eye-catching, and just how exponential it's been.
Definitely. And, especially with a lot of our clients, a lot of the viewers here who get their items from a donation flow, you don't know where the source of that item was. So knowing these sorts of pieces of information that Hermes is starting to get counterfeit more and more is really important to know. Then you can start looking out for these items coming in to your product flow.
Yeah,
Uh,
and just to maybe add to that a little bit, Adam, and it's again just the dynamic of counterfeiters in general. In their own way, they're so creative and innovative and opportunistic. And so the more conversation, the more exposure we can have around growth like that, where trends and popularity and demand are aligning with then counterfeiters, I think to your point, the better we can all be at helping stop that, or at least combat it as much as possible.
Definitely. Does Entropy have any sort of resources to help your users kind of pre-screen any of these items? I know with certain brands, a very easy tell is what brand of zipper is used.
Mm.
Certain patterns, the way they're stitched together, you can look at that. Is there any sort of resources that you have currently?
Yeah, absolutely. We're working on making it more accessible and available, but essentially one of the things that will be coming in 2025 is as a customer portal access, and we'll try to have tips and